Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's class session. Yesterday we created a user, but we didn't assign any roles. We just created one implementation user. So the reason why I didn't assign roles is just I want to show you the difference. So the username which we created is September underscore user one. So any setups I'm going to configure, I will start with September SEP underscore. Select sign in. So this is the username which we created yesterday. So if you go to setup and maintenance, so you won't see any setup and maintenance under setting and actions. The reason we don't have the required rows. We don't have the required rows. As well as this is the try bar icon which we will pronounce as a navigator. If you click on navigator also, you can see very basic functionalities which we default for each and every user creation. So but we didn't see any other functionalities here also. The reason this particular user don't have any roles, then we have to add the roles to the user. So as I said, in e-business suite, with the help of system administrator responsibility, by creating responsibilities, menus, as well as functions and sub-functions, we are going to restrict the application to access by specific user. In cloud application, we are going to restrict the application, so with the help of role-based access control. With the help of role-based access control. Now this particular user don't have the privileges to create a user, as well as this particular user don't have any privileges even to assign roles for specific also. Then what we'll do? So we'll log in with the user who have the privileges, and we'll assign the required roles. So in cloud application, we are going to provide the security with the help of role-based access control. So which is part of security console training program, which will deal in future, but not now. Till there, some 10 to 15 roles are required, which we are going to give the list. So log out from this particular user, which we just created yesterday. Log out from this user, select confirm. So login back to the application with the user who has the privileges. Let's take an example. June underscore user one is having privileges. So this the user is having complete privileges. So then go to setup and maintenance. As I said, security console we can access from navigator. Under tools, you can see security console. From there we can navigate to security console, or else from setup and maintenance. So anywhere the task name, click on show all tasks. So under initial users functional area, if you see create implementation user task, it will navigate to security console only. But for easy to understand, easy to access the application, just to avoid the confusion, initially we are going to discuss basic setups in procurement offering only. So select navigate to procurement offering. Use this drop down button to switch between offerings. So navigate to procurement offering. Just use this scroll bar. So then select initial users functional area, task nothing but setup. So for show required task, only one task we are able to see. Click on show all tasks. Click on show all tasks. So here you can see all the list of the tasks. So click on create implementation users. Click on create implementation user. It will navigate to security console only. Search our username in the search criteria, SEP percentile. So if you use percentile, what will happen? Let's see. See whether it is displaying any data. No. So as I said, for user creation area, we cannot use percentile. So if you use SEP just only like that, then so whatever the eligible users is available having SAP, all those users will populate. Let's take an example. June. So select search. So if you search like this, whatever users is having June, all those, so in the middle of the names or middle of user logins or anywhere, all those usernames will populate. If you want to search specific, so you have to be very specific. So June underscore U, only one username starts with June underscore user one. So likewise, you can search. So for our username, we are going to search with SCP underscore. So don't use percentile. Don't use percentile. Select search. Select search our username. This is the username. If you want to reset password, you can open the user. So from there you can reset password, or else under action, this is the action column. Under action column, you can see a drop down button. Click on this drop down button. From here you can delete this user. You can lock the account, as well as you can reset the password also. Anything is fine. So at this moment, so June underscore user 1 is having the privileges. So now let's go to September underscore user 1. Click on the user. So click on edit. Click on edit. So here you can reset the password, and under roles we are going to add the roles. Based on the roles only, the user is going to access the application. The user is going to get the privileges. So initially, what are the roles we need to add? So the first role is so employee role. The first role is employee role. So employee role is going to have a privileges, so to perform some basic transactions, inventory transactions and other things. Then assign application. It is common for everyone. Implementation consultant. So this is the role. The person, the user who is going to have application implementation consultant role, the specific user can access the application, and the specific user can define the setups, can configure the setups in the application. The role which is going to have the user ID which is going to have application implementation consultant role, the specific user can configure the setups, can configure the application setups. Then we have one more role, application implementation manager. So the person who is going to have the application implementation manager role, so the person can configure these setups, as well as so he can take care of OTBI, as well as we have a concept of implementation project is there, so he can access all those things. Then we have one more role, application implementation administrator. The person who is going to have application implementation administrator role, so can maintain and can administrate entire application, including customization, sandbox activities, as well as integrations with other party tools. So that person is going to have complete privileges for all these functionalities. Then, so if you want to access security console, what is the role required? Yesterday we discussed. If you want to access the security console, what is the role required? What is the role required?
IT security manager, right?
IT security manager. Here we written, remember, IT security manager. That means one more role is what? So IT security manager. And you may get a doubt. In real time, are we going to assign all these roles for one user? No. So IT security is going to have a separate team usually. So for whatever clients I work, so we are going to maintain a separate security console person. So security won't be taken care by most of the scenarios. So by functional team won't take care of security console, but we should have an idea how to customize the roles and everything. We should have a knowledge, but so usually we have a dedicated security team. So if the project team size is less, in that scenario, clients won't provide a separate billing for security console. In that scenario, we need to configure. That is the reason, based on the project to project, it will vary. So in case if your project don't support for extra billing, then we need to configure. For example, you are implementing procurement, then you need to customize procurement roles. That is the reason you have to know in detail knowledge on security console also. It is part of our training only. Okay, so initially let's add all these 5 roles again. So when you will get a clear knowledge, once we discuss security console, then only you will get a clear knowledge on how these roles will work. So till that moment, just to get the access, let's assign the roles. So click on someone. Okay, this is implementation user, but we are also giving employee role. Okay, the reason why I am giving is, so first point, I want to perform some basic inventory transactions. I want to perform some basic inventory transactions rather than going with employee user again. So if you assign this role, yes, we can do, but we cannot create purchase requisitions. But these things we can do if you assign the role to implementation user. So that is the reason I am adding this privilege. Okay. So click on add role. So whenever you are adding role, you have to be very specific because the search criteria will work exactly. So you cannot search like percentage stuff. So minimum 3 characters required. Once you start typing the characters, automatically system will search for you. You have to choose from the list of values. I am going to assign employee. So till we discuss security console, select first one in the search results. Any role, select top of the list one. So first one, whatever in the list, select that particular one. Click on add role membership. The role employee was added to the user. Select OK. In the background also you can see the employee role is added. Then what is the next role? Just remove this one. So what is the next role? Application implementation consultant. Correct? Application implementation consultant. Correct or wrong? So what is the list?
Consultant, manager, administrator.
Yes. So select application. Just start typing. So you can see all the list of the roles which starts with application. So scroll down. So here you can see application implementation consultant role. Click on that one. Select first one. Click on add role membership. Select OK. Then what is the next role? We need to add application implementation manager. So just remove till application implementation till consultant remove it. Then system will search specific roles. For example, you don't want to add now. Select done. Select save and close. That's fine. So assignable auto provision. Those are the concepts follows under security console only. So for example, so far I added 2 roles. Select done. So we can close it, and whenever we want to add, we can come back and we can add. So again, how you need to add? Again, you need to log in with the user which is having a security console privileges. Search your username. So once you search your name, username, open your username, user login details. Click on edit. Click on edit. Whatever the role you want to add, just click on add role and just search your role and add it again. So application implementation administrator. Select first one. Select add role membership. Then one more role is pending. What is that? Manager. Application implementation manager. Select OK. Add role membership. Then if you want to control entire security console from September underscore user 1, SCP underscore user 1. So then we need to give the IT security manager role. Select IT space IT security manager. Select IT security manager. You have to be very clear in searching the data. So if you search like this IT, so ITS, then system won't found for you because you won't get the search results. So you have to be very clear that IT space, then only the role will populate. Then how to know what are the roles for specific offering? So what are the seeded roles for specific offering? There is the Oracle documentations is there. In the documentations I'm going to explain you how to access the latest documents. So there you can see. Okay, now we added all the 5 basic required roles to our user, implementation user. Now we have complete admin privileges. September underscore user 1 is having complete admin privileges, including security console access. Select done. So close this tab, log out from this particular user, select sign out, select confirm. So login back to the application, SCP underscore user 1. Select sign in. Now we can see more icons. If you click on navigator also, you can see more icons. So you may get it out. Why I'm able to see procurement purchase requisitions by receipts. The employee role is having these privileges. Employee role is having these privileges, but still we cannot create a purchase requisition without some setups. So then if you click on the drop down button after the user ID, you can see setup and maintenance, sandboxes and everything. So earlier, are we able to see this? Earlier, did we saw the for September underscore user one?
No, not for this user. No.
No, because earlier we didn't assign roles, but now we assign the roles. So click on setup and maintenance. So now here, so how many offerings are you able to see? So compensation management, customer data management, likewise. So we have total 25 offerings in the application. Till financials 5, till marketing, let's take an example 10. Okay. So then till project execution management 15. Then till student management 20. So we are able to see total 23 offerings at this moment. So let's take an example. So we purchased the license with Orkill for financials, procurement, and manufacturing and supply chain material management and product management, supply chain planning. So will Orkill is going to provide you complete modules as a single application or only specific modules? Tell me in EBS. In EBS we have 136 modules. So is I didn't purchase 136 modules. I purchased some 40 modules license only. But whether Orkill will provide you only 40 modules or Orkill will provide 136 modules?
Only the licensed one.
No. Will Orkill provide or not by default?
By default, it will provide.
Okay. Then what we will do?
Based on the license and only, then we will be able to access everything. But will be access.
I mean, by default, Orkill will provide all the modules, but as per licensing agreements, we need to implement only specific modules which we got the license. But remaining modules we can test in development instances. Correct? We can test in development environments.
Yeah.
But we cannot take it to production. Correct? In EBS.
Yes.
Similarly, in cloud application also, let's take an example. I purchase license for financials and procurement only. Then Orkill will provide you all 25 offerings by default. But we need to configure. Usually, who will configure? The top level people who has the authorization. They will configure specific offerings only in the application for the uses. Then how we need to configure that? So here, go to navigator. This is the try bar icon which we will say navigator. So under navigator, here you can see my enterprise. Here you can see my enterprise. Under my enterprise offerings. So by default you can see all 25 offerings. Click on offerings. So here you can see all the offerings: compensation management, customer data management, loyalty, enterprise structure. Likewise, you can see all 25 offerings. Whatever offerings you want to use, you have to enable only those offerings. Let's take an example. I don't want to implement compensation management as I don't have a license. Then what we need to do, place cursor on compensation management. Click on opt-in features. Click on opt-in features. So here, compensation management, just disable it. Just you choose to opt out an offering already enabled. That's fine. That means just we are not going to use this offering. Select S. Select S. Select done. Similarly, let's go to customer loyalty. Grants management. So everything is enabled only. So let's see whether something is disabled. Okay, all offerings enabled only. So now we just disabled compensation management. Likewise, I am going to disable. What happens if you do not disable a non-license? So I mean, if you don't disable, then so it can be available from setup and maintenance. It is available from setup and maintenance. Then what will happen? Someone, I mean, anyhow, usually even if that is available from setup and maintenance also, we won't implement, but for better practices we need to disable it. Okay, I mean, simple thing. So if you don't opt out. If you don't disable any offering which you don't have license here, then the specific offering is available from setup and maintenance. But what prevents it from being used without license? I mean, these things, okay. I got your question, Sripriya. So, what prevents it from being used without license? Nothing. But so usually it won't prevent, because but this is the cloud database and Arkill. So they will come to know if you implement some setup, but then by default Arkill will know what are the offerings. So we are going to use, and there is the, I mean, so against the policy terms, right? Automatically Arkill will know, because it's a complete cloud database. Okay. Okay. Then incentive compensation management. Opt-in features. Let's take an example. I even don't have a license for incentive compensation management. Select opt-out. Select done. So then go to setup and maintenance. We disabled compensation management and incentive compensation. So click on setup and maintenance. So what is the first offering? Now you are able to see compensation management or customer data management. What is it now?
Now it's different customer
It's a
data.
customer data management. Earlier it is compensation management. Now you won't see compensation management in list of values, as well as you won't see incentive compensation also from the list of values in setup and maintenance. So we cannot implement. So going forward, so I got the, I mean, so I want to implement compensation management and I paid the license fee. Then again, what we have to do, just go to setup and maintenance. So navigate to go to navigator. Under my enterprise, click on offerings, select compensation management, click on opt-in features, just enable the compensation management. Select again within compensation management. So specific one only you can opt in if you want. So specific one, workforce compensation, individual compensation. So absence management. If you don't want to see absence management, just disable that one. Likewise, you can do that. Select done. So now I enabled it. Same like incentive compensation management. Let's opt in features. Let's enable it. Select done. So now let's go to setup and maintenance. Then if you click on setup and maintenance, the first offering you are able to see is compensation management. So click on setup and maintenance. So now the first offering is compensation management. Any questions on enabling offerings or disabling offerings based on licensing terms? Any questions? Okay. Then navigate to, so we configured the enterprise. Now we have a concept of implementation project in cloud application, so which is not mandatory, but to track the status of how the implementation is going on. So we have a concept of implementation project, so which is a new feature in cloud application when compared to e-business suite. So when compared to e-business suite, our license fee, okay, our license fee will vary. I mean, first one thing, license fee they are going to sell for each and every offering, not within the offering module. So again, each and every offering also. One second. So again, each and every offering also based on number of users, first thing, and based on the data usage, the bandwidth, data usage, as well as so some other data related stuff will be there based on that one, or else based on the regions. So the Oracle is going to provide a quotation. It will vary from client to client to calculate the license fee, which we need to discuss with the sales team. Okay, but anything, either number of users or regions or anything, database usage is a common scenario. Anywhere Oracle will charge for so data consumption, and it will vary for each and every client. the way you negotiate with sales team. Okay. A few points we cannot give you a standard answer like this is the price, because always it will vary. Okay, then we have a concept of implementation project. The purpose of implementation project is to track the status of the implementation project. So for example, so I have given a project, so I am the client, so and I have given project to two different companies. So I want to implement my project by some X company as well as some Y company, and X company is going to implement financials and Y company is going to implement supply chain management. Let's take an example. Then is that required to track their work progress usually or not? It's good if you track the, yes. So if you good, if it is good if you can track the status, how they are implementing, whether they are completed, so 50%, 60%, whether they are in up to date, all those things we can track. So if you have a implementation project concept, which we don't have in e-business suite, in e-business suite, over the calls, usually we are going to monitor on a regular basis. Here also in a real work project, we are going to have a regular calls with our teams, and that is a different scenario. But client can track this status. Client can track this status. Not only client. Let's take in a manager. Manager want to track this status, how people are working. So he can track this status with the help of implementation project concept. So then how to navigate? Place cursor in any offering, compensation management or any offering. Just for our easy reference purpose, I'm going to navigate to procurement offering. So here on the right side of the application, you can see task icon. Click on this task icon. So this is the task related to application level, not for specific offering level. This is related to application level, not for specific offering level. So click on this task on the right side of the application. Click on manage implementation project. Click on manage implementation projects. So these are the Oracle seeded implementation projects as well as created by some others also. So let's create our own implementation project. So this is the implementation project screen. This is the implementation project page. So here, if you already created, you can search, or else already search results populated. From search results by using this scroll bar, so you can search for specific implementation project. So if you want to create a new, then click on plus icon. Across the application, plus icon nothing but to create or select and add. So pencil icon for edit and cross mark for delete. So same thing you can access from actions column. Click on actions, create, edit, delete. Same things you can see here from actions, or else directly by click on icon you can access it. So I'm going to create by click on plus icon. So the implementation project name. So it is SEP underscore implementation project. So automatically system will populate the code, and the code won't allow any spaces. That is the reason. So here we have a space, implementation and project. Between these words we have a space. That space is filled with underscore. So in code. So again, if you want, you can change it, but so we shouldn't leave as spaces, blanks in between words, and description automatically populated from name. If you want, you can modify the description also. So what is the default status? The implementation project is not started. Assigned to, as we are creating this implementation project setup from SCP underscore user 1 user details, by default it will assign to this user. So if you have any other users, you can assign to other users also. So at this moment we have only one user. Start date, when we started this implementation project, so 9/11. So then finish date. So once we complete the implementation project, we can update the finish date also. Then click on next. Click on next. So again, I'm clearly saying this implementation project concept, the purpose of implementation project is to manage the implementation, to manage the status of the implementation project. That is the main purpose. But still, we can navigate the task, we can navigate the setups from here also. We can navigate the setups from implementation project also. But Even that is we can navigate from setup and maintenance. Anything is fine, but the main purpose is to track the status, but also we can navigate setups from here also. That is also feature available. So we can navigate the setups. So once we create okay, I mean application implementation manager here at this moment. Application implementation manager here has the privileges to it. Okay, so once we discuss the security console, you will come to know how to create custom roles to do specific role, like assigning tasks to other users. Okay, and one more thing, guys. So I mean, you don't need to ping on chat. Just please unmute and you can speak. That's not an issue for everyone. Okay.
Yeah. Sharad, it's not connected to it's not linked to project accounting, right? It is just some easy way to maintain your task.
Yes, it's just easy way to maintain the task as well as easy way to understand the status. I mean, tracking
Okay.
the status within the application.
Hmm. So why did they give so much importance to implementation roles? Because normally, like, once it's a one-time thing, right? Why they have given so much importance to
Okay, I will tell you. So the reason is, so I mean, rather than giving access for setup and maintenance for everyone, so if you give access to implementation project, then all the tasks they can access from here only.
Okay.
So setups they can access from here. So that is the one reason. So another reason is the search criteria for tasks also easy in implementation project in earlier versions. But from setup and maintenance, now it is easy to access. Earlier till release 12 also, accessing the setups from implementation project is the easy way. And most of the setups you can see once you create implementation project only. But now from release 13, so they changed everything. And from setup and maintenance, whatever available, same. I mean, whatever available in implementation project, same available from setup and maintenance also. From release 13, there
So,
won't be any difference.
so you can, it's not just a text task. It is like you can actually access the setup right from the implementation project, is it?
Yes, we can access the setups from
Yeah.
implementation project also.
So it's kind of like a summary of the BR100. Like in BR100, we say this setup, this setup, this setup, right? You can just take a glance at this and you will understand what setups were made. Yeah.
Yes, I mean a BR100 usually we will prepare after the setups, right? So even
Yeah.
so that is we can do from setup and maintenance also, but just access is going to be easy.
Okay.
That's all. So I mean same thing even we can do from setup and maintenance also, right?
Yeah.
So but just access is going to be easy. That's all.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
There is no much functionality. Earlier it is very mandatory setup because most of the setups we can access from once we create implementation project only. But now we have a different such criteria is there from list 13 onwards. Without creating implementation project also you can implement entire application.
Yeah. So consultants, do they normally do this? Typically, do they create this implementation project and then?
Usually consultants won't create first thing. It is a
Hmm.
one-time setup which is configured by managers like that or one person. And earlier consultants used it to navigate from implementation project only, but now people are habituated from setup and maintenance.
Okay.
But if your client is very specific that he want to track the status, what are the setups you implemented, then you need to navigate from here only.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, if your client is very specific that I want to track the status, then we need to implement the setups here only, then only so we can update with immediate effect whatever the setups we done, so client can see easily whether the setup
Okay.
completed or not.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great idea, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a good idea, but what will happen is it will consume a lot of time
Yeah.
because it's a manual thing like updating the updating the status for each and every task. So I will show you, I mean, so there is a discussion, I will show you. Okay, then here as part of this particular implementation project, so I got that my client is given me to implement, let's take financials, so I'm going to include financials. So whatever offerings we have to implement at this time, only we need to include those offerings. So as part of our training we are not going to discuss compensation management because it's part of human capital management training. So customer data management we are not going to discuss. Okay, I will give you an overview. So okay, it's not part of training, I will give you overview on at the time of real time. So what is customer data management? So tell me your knowledge, anyone.
It's creating the customer sites, and all those things.
Yeah, I mean, creating customers and customer sets, I mean, not only that one, but also if customers are validations for creation of customers, as well as if there is any duplicate sets, duplicate addresses, finding those duplicate addresses and resolving nothing but so resolving the duplicate addresses by merging or cleansing, all those features is available in customer data management in e-business suite. Same in cloud application also, but in cloud application it is very easy, and even we can restrict, we have some security restrictions also we can maintain. So that is customer data management, which is completely a different module. And as I mean, it is not part of our course training, it's okay, let's include customer data management as part of September implementation project. At the time of real time scenarios, I will take some half an hour session and I will give you overview. Customer loyalty, we are not going to implement customer loyalty. Enterprise contracts, ideally enterprise contracts is not part of our training program, but for procurement contracts we need templates, contract templates, which we need to configure in enterprise contracts. Templates I will use Oracle seeded, or else I will create offline, but I'm going to include enterprise contracts also. So contract procurement, we already decided to go with procurement endpoint only, because enterprise contracts is totally, that is a separate concept. And service contracts also, complete features are available from release 13.17d database update. From release 13.17d database update, complete service contract functionalities are available. But in 17d, some issues with pricing related service contracts, but in 18b, the pricing setups related to service contracts also fixed. Those issues also fixed already. Then financials.
That is, what about install base? Is it part of service contract? Service install base?
Yeah, I mean, install base, yes, it's a part of service contract only, but actually it's not part of service contract. It's a part of a web store, right?
Okay.
It's an install base part of a web store, but I mean, installs, web store, and everything is part of CRM training.
Okay.
So that is totally, this comes under CRM package, correct?
Yeah.
That's a CRM package. Okay. So our training is supply chain management as well as manufacturing, and other modules I will give you an overview. So in real time sessions like that. Then financials. So as part of our training, we need basic legal entity setups. We need basic ledger setups, as well as at the time of real time scenarios, we are going to discuss one complete O2C, one complete P2P cycles. Even I am going to configure setups offline for AP and AR setups, but still we are going to discuss complete cycles. For that purpose, I am going to include financials. Supplier invoice processing, nothing but account payables. Expense module. FA, fixed assets module. Customer invoice processing, nothing but AR module. So collection management. So revenue management. So all these modules will come under financial offering. Earlier, each and everything we will treat as a separate module. End of the day, we will say financial suite. Here we will say financial offering. Within financial offering, we are going to pronounce as options rather than modules. We will pronounce as options. Then intercompany. So we are going to include whatever we want to implement. So likewise, Fusion Accounting Hub we are not going to implement. Grants management we are not going to implement. But manufacturing and supply chain material management, yes, we are going to implement manufacturing and supply chain material management. So within manufacturing, carriers and transit times, nothing but carriers, shipping methods and everything we have to implement. Catalogs, we are going to discuss about item catalogs. So shipping execution is part of our training only. Cost and profit planning, so we'll deal at the time of real time. LCM is not part of our training, but in cloud LCM is very hardly we have 3 setups only. Okay, let's include LCM. So intrastat reporting, so we are not going to deal reporting, intrastat reporting, but manufacturing. So we are going to implement complete manufacturing, and here it is very clear what is the description. What is the description, guys?
Configure discrete manufacturing.
Configure discrete manufacturing. That means we don't have process manufacturing so far. So process manufacturing we may expect in release 14, but at this moment we have discrete manufacturing. But complete, I mean, all the solutions in discrete manufacturing are stable now. Okay. So we are going to implement discrete manufacturing. Then marketing we are not going to implement. So likewise, whatever we want to implement, only we need to choose specific offerings only. I'm going to implement order management. Let's include order management. So pricing, yes, we are going to implement pricing also. Then scroll down. So this is a business intelligence related one, BI analytics. So are you going to integrate, implement in analytics? Yes. So let's take yes. So PRM offering. So we are not going to implement PRM offering, but we are going to discuss complete procurement offering. So let's include procurement. So within procurement, we have total 6 modules. They are purchasing. In easy reference, you can say core purchasing, self-service procurement, nothing but procurement. So if you don't purchase complete financial suite, then so you can implement AP from procurement offering also. So supplier invoice processing, supplier portal, nothing but supplier, sourcing, nothing but advanced sourcing. But in e-business suite, so you can go with the negotiations in core purchasing, as well as you can go with sourcing or advanced sourcing. But in cloud application, if you want to go with the negotiations, then you need to configure sourcing module. Then supplier qualification is a new module. So based on some initiatives and assessments, we can qualify a supplier. Procurement contracts, contract procurement. So we are going to discuss complete modules in procurement offering, as well as a overview on procurement, business intelligence analytics. Then what else we are going to implement? We are going to implement product management. Under product management offering, we are going to discuss complete product information management. So including items and catalog management. So within items and catalog, so inventory, catalogs, item structure, nothing but BOM. So suppliers for product management, item mass update. How to perform mass update on items, for any item attributes or anything. So this feature is available in EBS also, but in PIM module in EBS. By default include, we need to go with PIM module. So advanced catalogs, so the more functional area of catalogs, as well as so new item requests, as well as change order concepts are available in EBS, but these features available in PIM module in EBS. In cloud, as I said, by default we need to implement product information management if you want to go with supply chain management. So we are going to implement so PIM, so including data consolidation also. So product spoke systems, item batches, pool integrations, quality. Then we are going to discuss configurator. So configurator we need to implement for ATO scenario. So let's include configurator. So then product development. Product development, nothing more, it's a product hub which we are not going to discuss. But product requirements and ideation management, concept design management, and project product lifecycle portfolio management. All three together becomes innovation management cloud. All three options together becomes innovation management cloud. So we'll give you an overview on innovation management cloud also. Then what else we are going to implement? So we are going to implement supply chain planning. So we are going to discuss complete global order promising, and we are going to discuss a overview on planning central. So let's include supply chain planning, as well as workforce deployment and workforce development. Let's include workforce deployment. So the purpose is in procurement. So once procurement completes, so we have a different route using scenarios is there. For that purpose, we need HCM setups. So that is the reason we are going to include HCM related one also. So as well as workforce development. So let's include development. So let's include all the options. So likewise, we need to include whatever you want to implement as part of your implementation project. So likewise, you need to include all these specific offerings. Within offerings, you need to include specific options. Once you do that one, click on save and open project. So don't include all 25 offerings. Still we have some bug like, so system won't, system will throw a error message. So click on save and open project.
Sarath, I heard the planning central is kind of old and it is that phrase
Don't
is
you
not.
mind? Ma'am, don't you mind? Can you please speak a bit louder?
Yeah, the planning central. I thought it was a gone concept and it is not called as planning central anymore, but it is planning central.
No. From setups wise, it is planning central. First part. From setup wise, it is planning central. But to perform the navigation, from navigator standpoint, if you want to implement any, if you want to perform planning, supply order planning or demand planning, like defining worksheets and everything, there we will pronounce with the different terminology like supply order planning, supply chain planning, demand planning, demand management. Likewise, we are going to pronounce. So once we assign the roles, here from the navigator, you can see in those terminologies, but from setup and maintenance at the time of configuring, including your organization for collections. So still the terminology, we will say planning central only.
Oh.
So, but, sorry?
Yeah, got it, sir.
Yeah.
Got it.
So it will take a minimum 2 to 3 minutes, guys. Minimum 2 to 3 minutes it will take. And it is a one-time setup.
So once you have included an offering in the project, you have to complete that setup, or like, it's just like.
It's up to you, ma'am. For example, based on our requirement, I included in procurement all modules, but so I don't need to complete all procurement setups as part of my business requirement. So there is some 1,000 setups is there. Out of 1,000, so the requirement is only 500 setups. Then we will configure only 500. It's not mandatory, just to track the status. Okay. Then client may ask why you didn't completed this task. So then we are going to give the reason. Then he's going to sign off. That's all. Okay, now the implementation project completed. So these are the setups. So these are the offerings which we are going to implement. So click on done, click on done. So click on done. So let's take an example. So now if you want to see your implementation project, again go to task, place cursor in any offering, click on manage implementation project task. So as we just defined, it is in top of the list. Let's take, you don't see in top of the list. Then from the search criteria, search your implementation project. So click on search. So this is the implementation project. What is the status? So far it is not started. So anytime we can edit, but the privilege is required. So go to edit the status. So the status is not started. You can say in progress. Let's take an example. Now we started implementing and it is in progress. So if you update in progress, select done. So now what is the status? In progress. Now open the implementation project. Open the implementation project. Scroll down. Just it will take time to update. 1 second. So here you can see September user 1. This implementation project is assigned to September user 1. But whether is this task assigned to him? No, right? So far this task is assigned to no one. So here you can see. So for example, earlier we created a implementation user from setup and maintenance, procurement offering, create implementation user task. That is the navigation or wrong? Is that the navigation we followed? Is that the navigation we followed or not?
Yes.
So then now same thing you can navigate from task, expand procurement. So define common application configuration for procurement, expand again here also. So scroll down. So here define synchronization users, define security synchronization, define implementation user. Again expand this one. So create implementation user, go to task. This is the column go to task. So if you click on this go to task, then automatically it will navigate to separate setup also. Likewise, you can navigate. So rather than from setup and maintenance, from here also we can navigate. As well as at this moment, what is the status of this task?
It's complete.
Not started. Then who is going to implement? We can assign to this particular people. Let's take complete procurement. I want to implement by September underscore user one. Then we are going to select procurement offering. That again you can give complete offering assignment or else individual particular task also. Anything is fine. At this moment, I am going to give complete procurement offering. Place cursor on procurement offering. Click on assign task. Click on assign task. Then click on assigned to user. Assigned to user. User ID SCP underscore select search. Select user. Select apply. Select done. So select, so permission details. So here you can see the permission details also. Let's open the permission details. Okay. See here again, what are the tasks he can implement? Here we can see all the permissions. See, he can configure cost of goods as extract. He can do so whatever he can do. We can see all these permission details. Select. So again, so I mean it will go. It will. There is a lot of tasks is there. So select done. Select done. Okay, I mean these are the exceptions usually you will get in a demo environments only. Select. So if you want, you can give the due date also. Let's take an example. He has to implement by December. So December 31st, we are going to give a due date as well as note. So please implement. Please implement required task in procurement offering. So in procurement offering, there is a lot of tasks. Just we are giving a note that please implement required task only. So click on save and close. Click on save and close.
So we are assigning the task of procurement implementation, but still we are restricting some permissions, is it? Like through permission details?
No, permission details at the moment. What are the tasks he can, I mean, do that. All those things you can see in permission details also. So, I mean, assigning tasks at the moment, giving the permission only.
Mm.
Okay, assigning task meaning giving the permission only.
Okay. So what if that user does not have, that user setup does not have access to procurement, let us say. He does not have any offering. But by doing this, will he automatically inherit the permissions?
No, I mean, you will get your answers just after 10 minutes. So once
Okay.
we'll complete the implementation project discussion, you will get those answers, ma'am.
Okay.
So there is a lot to discuss. Just I'm going to uncheck and again, so I'm going to assign tasks. Sometimes the system will take more time. Okay, guys, sometimes our system will take more time. So click on assign task. Okay, better I will open from. What I will do is just give me a minute. So let me close it once. Let me close it. Select done. I will clear cookies and caches from my browser, and I will. What we are going to do. So once it is in progress, select done. Select done. So again, select September underscore implementation project. Click on overview. So here place cursor. How many not started? Only 3,389. So here if you place cursor, so 3,389 is in not started status, in progress. So okay, I mean this icon is configured for the assignment by status. Okay, now where we'll see is, so assignment status by task list. Assignment status by task list. So place cursor on procurement. Now how many are not started? Only 488. So again you can change this dashboard also. We can customize this dashboard the way it is looks. So for example, status all open, not started, in progress. So let's take an example, status all. Then you can see the difference. So select status all. So then the place cursor procurement, click on procurement task list. Click on procurement task list. So here define common configuration. 2 task is in progress. See, are you able to see 2 are in progress?
Yes, yes.
So and 78 is in not started. So same thing you can go with resource status also. Likewise, someone can track this status easily. So here this is due date this week. So what we'll choose is a due date now. Let's take an example. Then so total 490 tasks assigned to this particular user which is having no due date. So go to assignment details. So here due date all, status, let's take in progress. How many tasks are in progress by a September user? Select search. So how many tasks? 2 tasks. Likewise, the person, so someone can monitor this status, how the implementation going on with the help of this setup. That is one of the biggest advantage. And the second advantage, rather than giving access to setup and maintenance for everyone, we can give access for implementation project. From implementation project, so directly they can navigate to particular setups. This is the advantage with implementation project. Then what is the disadvantage you found in terms of, okay, who has more advantage and who has less who has more disadvantage with this setup?
Client has more advantage.
Client has more advantage and IT team has disadvantage. One thing we have to be very clear the way we are doing. Second one, okay, we are doing perfect implementation only. Then still what is the disadvantage? A manual work. All these things for each and everything we need to update manually, right?
Can't we import through some Excel sheet, like this is what my project is?
Sorry, ma'am?
Can't we import it?
No. This is the manual only. This is manual only. Okay. This particular one is a manual work only. So that is the reason. So even it will consume some time. For example, today you define some 20 setups. So you have to spend some 5 minutes extra or 10 minutes extra to change this status like that. Okay.
Sarath, this is Raghu. I have one question.
Yes, Raghu.
So once the setup is completed, this task assigned is automatically completed, or again
No,
we
that's
have
what
to
I'm saying.
manually
It
check?
won't complete automatically. We need to make it manually. Okay.
Okay.
So because so how system will, for example, you click on go task and you define some setups, whether you completed the setup or not, how system will know. Maybe you define some wrong and again you need to go back and you need to change it, right? Then how system will know whether it is in progress or completed. So you defined one setup and you are testing that setup. So till testing that setup until you found that the way you define setup is correct. So are you going to make it complete or in progress?
Sharath, one doubt here, like for the setters which we make it as complete, and in the future, like if at all I want to change the setups there, can we change it?
Yeah, you can change any change. You can do any changes in terms of setups, so it won't affect anything. Just in that scenario, if you want to track the project, just you have to make it as in progress again. That's all. Just it is for tracking the status only, and we can do any changes in setups anytime. Even it is in not started, yes, you can implement setup. You can complete the project also. So even it is in progress status, you can complete. So it won't make any difference. Just it is for tracking purpose only.
So if I go and do any setup outside of this through setup and maintenance also, it won't detect it. It won't say, hey, you went and
No, it won't
modified.
detect it. It won't, I mean, automatically it won't change. So just it's a manual work just for tracking purpose. Even without implementation project also, we can implement entire application.
This is just good practice that the client should enforce.
Yes,
That's
it's a
all.
good practice which we can suggest client that. So we will, you can clearly monitor all these things. You can explain client. Even client may get impressed. If we say you can track everything, he may impress.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, Sunil, right?
If the September user is not having any of these roles, but the manager has assigned the task for the procurement setup, so how could he do? He has to.
No, again, at the time we need to create some custom role. So only to access implementation project. Without giving that role, he cannot access.
Okay. That is in the setup, we have to do that September user one. This is for only assigning of the tasks.
Yes, just assigning the task.
If he's not having required roles, he have to assign the required roles, then he need to implement it.
Yes, then only he can implement. Then only he can implement.
And manager can reassign the tasks.
Yes, he can reassign the task to anyone. So directly from here, he can again change the assigned task. If he click on assign task, it will assign to multiple people. But if you want to reassign, then what we need to do is click on done. So click on overview. So assignment details, go to assignment details. Let's take an example. So September user one. So due date done. You have to be very clear when you are searching, guys. Okay. So select search. So this task is assigned to one person. September is around. Same task you can assign to multiple person from direct implementation project, or else by come here, you can click on reassign task. You click on reassign task. Okay, I mean it's only application issues. I mean it's a demo issue, demo environment issue. So by click on reassign task, you can choose. You must select one or more rows. So we already selected. Okay. So click on reassign task. Okay, reassign task. Okay, this is just a Java exception which we are getting this demo environment. So by click on reassign task, system will ask you to select user and select save and close. That's all.
Okay, if we have selected multiple users, any of the user can update the status on the particular setup.
Again, there's a privileges. Yes, I have implementation consultant role. I have all the privileges.
No, if
you
the,
can restrict with the privileges.
No, if the same task is assigned to the two users.
Okay.
Either of the user can update that.
Yes, anyone can update
the status of that particular setup.
Yes, anyone can update.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
And what about that tables where it will be stored, our implementation, something like this, all this information?
First thing, you do not worry about tables because
Okay.
we are not going to access tables.
Okay.
Second thing, if you want to know the tables, just we have to go with the, documentation. Okay.
Yeah. Because the search option is little bit difficult, right? Sometimes we might be forget the name. So it is.
But still you cannot go with tables. You don't have access.
Okay.
So you don't have access in cloud database.
Okay.
Okay, you can access top player just to retrieve the data for reporting purpose or just to retrieve the data for web services purpose. If you want to go with any 3PL or any middleware to other tools integrations, you can access only top player only, but you can't access the complete database. Okay.
Yeah. Sarath, I did not follow about. I probably missed out
Ma'am,
one.
don't you mind? Can you please speak louder a bit?
Yeah, I think it's a problem with my laptop. So if the user does not have access to do the setup, what happens? Sorry, why I didn't get the answer for that. Yeah.
No, if this person don't have access to do setup, that means we need to give the privileges. So
Okay.
role. So as I have given implementation consultant role, I can implement any setup. There we have a concept of privileges. So that is the reason I can access. So my request for everyone is initially, please, in terms of providing security, don't think more. Just think more about application setups only. Providing security will deal after minimum after 1 month only. Okay. So once we habituated the application, then if we discuss about security, it is easy to understand.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Sarath, can you tell once again the navigation for creating the September implementation project once again?
Okay, creating the implementation project navigation is, so just log into the application which is having the privileges to application implementation consultant role, navigate to setup and maintenance, place cursor in any offering, either compensation management, grants management, any offering, it doesn't matter. On the right side of the task and right side of the application, you can see task. This is application level task. Click on those tasks. You can see manage implementation project. So by click on plus icon, we have to create.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, I didn't see the time today. It is already 9:20. But from tomorrow onwards, I will try to close sharp by 9 because a lot of people need to attend office. So if required any 1.5 hour or 2 hour sessions, I will take over the weekend if everyone is available. Okay, guys.
Okay.
Because most of the people are working employees. So not everyone is working only. We are not encouraging non-working employees to join our batch. So that is the reason for your purpose. I am going to close in sharp 9 o'clock. Okay. Okay, guys. So thanks for joining the session. So everyone can continue for next couple of days also. So, but if you need instance access, just you need to confirm upfront and you need to initiate the payment. So we already shared instance access for a couple of our students. So I'm just waiting for confirmation from others. So from Monday onwards, we are going to share a new meeting ID.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.